name's Shane and welcome to Rockin The Planet, the show dedicated to bringing live New Zealand music to your television screens every single week of the year. And judging by the response that we're getting, well, it looks like we're doing a damn good job. This week we will be rocking with the unique sound of the Recliner Rockers. We'll get to see them performing live at the CT Club, and we will be talking to and jamming with them on new songs and old songs from their latest CD. Well, here we are with the Recliner Rockers, my special guest this evening. Can't wait to meet them all. We've got Alan, the guitar man, the songwriter, the man. It's lovely to see you, Alan Lavis, and we've got Jeff Fitzpatrick here, the bass player, and of course we've got Bruce French over here, plays the mad sax. They're all crazy. It's lovely having them here. Good to have some crazy stuff in the studio tonight. But I really think we should go to the CT Club and see how crazy these guys can be live.
Well, I saw you last night and the other night before. Yes, I saw you last night and the other night before. So don't tell me, pretty baby, somebody's got to go. Yeah.
Now a reminder, if you love live music, you are all invited to join us at the CT Club at 27 Ohinerau Street in Remuera. We've been having a ball and you can be part of our studio audience while we film our live band of the week. Come along and make new friends. Our next live band is the Auckland-based The Ease Band, who I guarantee are one of Auckland's finest bands. Be there 7 p.m. Friday the 25th of July, the CT Club.
Black Rats, the Recliner Rockers. Yeah, now they are crazy. Did you see that? They are crazy here too, believe me. It's good to catch up with Alan Lavis, the songwriter, the lead guitarist, the man who formed the band. Now, Alan, great to have you here, mate. Welcome. You in a good mood today?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. Okay, we can just relax. And, oh, you've got to watch this guy. Now, you're a very talented man. Your career started way back when. I remember a band called the Sly Groovers. Now the Sly Groovers, I can remember them about 20 years ago.
Or more.
It was more, really, wasn't it? But you made a big name for yourself. It was a sort of a blues band. I would call it blues. But now you're doing rockabilly music with this band. And you're writing all the material. Is that where your roots were when you first started learning guitar? With the rockabilly?
Not specifically. It's still blues. I mean, we still do a lot of blues stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it's any rootsy sort of music, and I think blues, rockabilly, rock and roll, rock in general, folk music of any kind is where we're at.
You write your songs. Are you looking back to the Hank Williams era, or and the rockabilly, the Bill Monroes and all those sort of guys?
All of that.
Where it originated from?
It's informed by bluegrass. And
bluegrass,
as rockabilly was.
Yeah.
You know, rockabilly was informed by bluegrass, country music and blues music.
But it has such a good feel, doesn't it?
It's great.
Hey, when you rock, you rock.
It's good time music.
Yeah, so that's where your musical, your genre, when you chose the genre you want to play.
Yeah, and I've always been eager to explore new territory. And they just led from one thing to another. Peter Green, Fleetwood Mac was a huge influence.
Yeah.
And then Zeppelin, of course. And through Zeppelin, you get into
The
rockabilly,
blues,
because Jimmy Page was a huge rockabilly fan.
Yeah, still is, still playing that stuff,
that sort of stuff. And it was a natural, you just go backwards.
Yeah.
In the sense that you look at that music and you see who informed you.
Where
your
did
best
this come
players.
from?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it didn't
it's like me,
it didn't just spring into existence on its own. So you sort of look at where they come from, and it led right back to the Delta blues.
Anyway, so we move on now. Back to this band. You actually are one hell of a performance band. Apart from the music, you do a great visual act. The band gets out there and really rocks. I mean, was it a conscious effort between you guys to work out
No, it wasn't.
an act of sorts?
It wasn't contrived. It happened naturally. I think Jeff is a natural showman.
Yeah,
Quite.
but we all agree on that.
We never sat down and said, let's do this or let's do that. And it wasn't contrived in that respect. And we did want to go out there and involve the audience and get into the audience. And it was just that sort of excitement factor, getting out. And we didn't like the separation between audience and band.
Agreed.
You know, putting ourselves on a pedestal and separating us from audience. We wanted to get out there and get involved.
And the whole thing is like got a life of its own once it starts. It does cook, doesn't it? It does cook.
Well, when it's working, hopefully.
It cooks, honestly. And I think we'll just go and listen to a little bit of that cooking right now.
Feel I need you. I miss you when you go. Oh, feel I need you. The minutes pass so slow. I miss you when you go. So don't be not too long. Oh, feel you. Oh, feel I beg you. Please don't break my heart. Oh, feel I'm worried. My world will fall apart. I miss you when you go, so don't look out too long. Feel you, oh, feel.
I know you're out there, all budding musicians as well as professional musicians. If you desire to aspire to greatness in the music world, you need go no further than Music Planet. Their friendly, helpful staff really know their stuff, all being talented musicians themselves. They will help you get started no matter what your budget. New Elixir strings, a new drum skin, keyboards, or an unbeatable selection of guitars. Be spoilt for choice. 9 friendly stores throughout New Zealand. Music Planet.
Don't worry.
And now, the little shuffle. We're going to be another member, the bass player of the Recliner Rockers, Mr. Jeff Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Shane.
Great to have you here. Thanks for joining us. As a bass player, You're extraordinary because you played the big double bass for a start.
Thank you.
No one plays that. Then in our show, you also played a ukulele bass.
That's right.
You didn't play an electric bass the whole set, so there you go. So you are extraordinary. Did you start out on just a normal?
I did.
bass?
I started on electric bass. I was always interested in double bass. When I was a teenager and I saw the Stray Cats play.
Yeah.
And that was just a huge influence. And
of course, they had the double bass.
They had the double bass, and that was really my introduction to double bass. And then I worked back from there to Willie Dixon and Milt Hinton and the other double bass greats. But yeah, I did start playing electric bass. I started in a punk band. I was at school and I had a blue mohawk. And I wasn't in a band then. I wasn't a musician, but I got pulled up.
You look like a musician.
I looked like one, but I got pulled up to the principal, and he said to me, about my hair and all that, and he said, "Is there a reason why you have your hair like this?" And thinking on my feet, I said, "Yes, there is. I'm in a band." And then I had to. Yeah, well, they said, "Who else is in the band?" So I named a few people, TC and some friends of mine who were at school that were musicians, and I said, "Oh, I'm in a band with them." And so once I left that principal's office, I went round and I rounded them up and said, "Hey, look, we have to start a band real quick because
otherwise I've got to cut my mohawk off."
So yeah, and then from that point on, I
finger on your feet. That's wonderful. Anyway, you took up the bass then.
I took up electric bass,
of course, and the punk thing was going, probably Sex Pistols and all the rest of it.
Yeah, Ramones,
fantastic.
Yeah.
When you got onto this double bass, is that when you decided, right, I want to play rockabilly music? When you joined with Alan?
Well, I joined an earlier band called the Sonic Twisters, and I actually bought the bass off the previous bass player when he left.
This bass?
That bass, Mr. Horse.
Jack Daniels.
Yeah,
Mr. Horse.
Mr. Horse. And learning the double bass, I knew that Alan was a blues musician. I didn't know that he had the love for rockabilly.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, so that's when you, but now, just change before we go there, the instrument, the Jack Daniels, the horse.
Mr. Horse.
Yeah, Mr. Horse, they call him. I'll get it right in a minute. But learning that bass is a totally different story to just playing bass with frets and things.
It is.
Normal bass. So yeah, would have had a bit of time learning the art of finding your place on the neck there.
Yeah, I did. The main difficulty was it's such a physical instrument to play.
Yeah.
So it's kind
of
the
way you play it is even
the way anyone plays it. Well, actually, it's funny because people always say to me, "How do you stand on it? How do you lift it up?" And my response is, "Well, that's easy. The hard part is playing it."
Play it at the same time.
Well, at the same time, yeah. But yeah, it took me about, I think, nearly 8 months before I could actually get through a song.
Yeah, just
without having to stop
that,
because my hands hurt, my shoulder hurt.
Because the strings are fatter on those, aren't
strings
they?
Are
big
fatter,
fat strings, and you're slapping it. You're
and
not using
really
a pick and playing.
It's really physical.
It's boom, 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 boom. So you and you're ready. So you must have had a few blisters on the old right hand there.
Yep. Plenty of injuries.
Yeah,
and
injuries.
They haven't stopped.
And the injuries haven't stopped with the bass either. I believe this bass has been in a lot of trouble.
The bass, well, he's a workhorse.
Since you've been in the,
he's a workhorse.
He's a workhorse,
and it's often getting broken. Yeah. So thankfully, our drummer, who's not here tonight, is a carpenter, and he's very good at putting them back together again.
Couldn't be better.
So over the years, it's got stronger and stronger, so it's bulletproof now.
So he carves the drumsticks out every day for his own gig, and then he's watching what you're doing with the bass. What am I going to have to fix tomorrow?
Oh, he's great like that, and you know, the more and more it broke, the stronger it got from industrial. Marine.
You've turned it into a tank. It's a tank.
It's a tank.
It's a musical tank. But it fires some bullets. I'll tell you what, it's certainly going strong. And the horse, where did that evolve from?
Well, originally I used to have a gargoyle head on it. And I took that off because it used to frighten children.
But anyway, so you've had quite a colourful career so far. You've really just worked solidly with Alan and
yes, well, I was lucky enough. Well, we got together with a mutual friend of ours, started a glam rock band. And
this is interesting.
Yeah, and I thought, oh yeah, glam rock, I like that. And she was talking to me about it, and I said, well, who else is in the band? And she said, oh, we've got Alan Lavis on guitar. And I said, I'll join. as soon as I heard that,
So
because I
Al
always
didn't tell me
wanted
about
to do. Well,
it. Al didn't tell me about he played
a
glam
mystery.
rock. He's keeping that quiet.
Well, Alan,
Spanned out all that gear and all the
Well,
spandex or whatever they call it. And
yeah, we
tight
had
and
all the gear,
all
we
the
had
glitter
gear
and the
up,
hair.
the silver flares.
Yeah.
Alan is probably one of
Look
the
out,
most
Kiss.
eclectic people I know. Musically, he's into so many different styles, and it was during that time that I found out that Alan had the love for the rockabilly
Just
music.
sitting down having a chat.
And then it was just when
Casually
we,
said,
"That's right."
I love rockabilly music, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
And
then
you're
we
away.
just started. And
Why don't we
haven't turned
form a
around.
band?
Yeah.
Look, I'm wishing you all the best. Jeff, it's fantastic having you up. We could talk for hours, and I really
Thank you,
could.
Shane.
You're a lovely man to
Thank
talk to, and Alan, but we've got to talk to another member of the band, Mr. Bruce French, so I'm going to shuffle my hands in just a moment and move on. But meanwhile, we'll have a jam in a moment, so we'll just see what happens. Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Lovely having you.
I heard it on the radio. Blue suede shoes and go cat go. It squeezed my heart and rattled my brain. It hit me hard, but I felt no pain. Hold on tight and don't let go. Not until dreams come true. I heard it on the radio. Yes, I saw them on the movie screen, looking tough and acting mean. Wild-eyed boys with a teenage queen, with their cool hot rods and street machines. Go on tight, don't let go. Not until dreams come true. I heard it on the radio. I heard it on the radio. It picked me up and it laid me low. Play it fast, play it slow. It's got me down, won't let go.
I've got to say, this is one of the finest album covers I've seen for a long time. The photography on here, I love it, Jeff. You know, all the pictures of the band, even the sunset, beautiful sunset.
Yeah, actually, there's a story about that. We shot those in Hokitika. We flew to Christchurch. We were playing a gig in Hokitika. Drove a van, cramped in, double bass in the back with our photographer. Drove all the way to Hokitika.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
We're still doing it.
Crowded into a little van. So Megan Moss, who's a friend of ours, got her camera out, and we had about 15 minutes maybe before the sun goes down.
Yeah.
She saw the sunset and thought, let's do a photo shoot here.
Yeah.
So we rushed out and we took those in all of 15 minutes.
So it was quite so spontaneous. You just said,
Spontaneous.
get the bass out and bang and do the
yeah,
guitars. And did you really throw your guitar in the up in the air, Alan?
That's a real shot, yeah.
Wow. You had to catch that. That lady, what was her name?
Megan Moss.
Megan,
is her name, yeah.
Megan, she deserves every credit she gets for the cover. I'd get her to do mine. She's famous.
Well,
they're beautiful shots. Now let's get back to the CT Club and see some more beautiful shots and some great music.
No, I've got nowhere to go. No, I'm out here all alone. You know, you took everything I own. You know, I got nothing to show for working hard all these years. Lord, I just disappeared. No, I've got nowhere to go.
Enjoying the great sounds of tonight's show. The instruments and the voices are being mixed with the help of student engineers from the SAE Institute in Parnell, Auckland. They will train you for an exciting career as an audio engineer, mixing and recording music for a variety of situations in their state-of-the-art facilities. Contact SAE Institute. It's your pathway to a great career. And a big thanks to our audio engineer Rex Jury from West Coast Sound, who oversees all of our live recordings at the CT Club. Does an awesome job. And here we are, Mr. Bruce Fred.
Shane, how are you?
Sax player extraordinaire. Great to have you here, mate.
Thanks, mate.
But you see your career as a sax player, I mean, you started out as a bass player.
I did, that's where I met Alan, actually,
on the
yeah.
bass guitar. And that's where you met Alan. You played in a band together. We were just talking earlier, before the interview started, about how you played at places like the Manukau Arms, where you honed your craft, and you were a resident band there on a Saturday afternoon when we all used to go out and rock, have a few pints and drive home and all that sort of stuff and watch a good rock and roll band.
Good old days.
And so you did a lot of that together. You were resident there?
Yes, we had little nights when we used to play in different places, but we always, the same place every week, so we could
build
up a good
Saturdays.
clientele,
Yeah.
We used to play at the T-Bird on a Wednesday,
The T-Bird being on the North Shore,
yeah,
the old T-Bird.
and the Mondazera on a Tuesday, and the
What year is
Manukau
this?
Arms.
70, in the 70s? That far
About
back?
30 years ago, wouldn't it? Really?
Yeah, really.
Close to it.
Yeah.
About 30? Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of those places don't exist anymore,
No,
unfortunately.
exactly.
That's why they were the good old days.
The live music really did get squashed, if you like, in, I'd say, the 90s, when they started to look at these one-man bands and the drum machine came in. Once we got that, they tried to squash us, And so it was easy. Oh, one guy. Pay him a few $100, boom, it's much cheaper than paying the band. But the energy level went down and everyone got used to just listening to this, tap, tap, tap. And that's all I can call it. It really bores me. Talking about drummers, I mean, you actually have a real drummer.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, we have Julian Davis. Unfortunately can't be here tonight, but the guy, he's amazing. He's fantastic.
He's fantastic.
And him and I have had a bit of a history of playing in bands together, but the thing with Julian is you can't keep him behind the kit.
No.
He comes out.
He's a showman.
He's a showman. He'll play on beer glasses, on light fittings, on the floor if there's no
On your
furniture.
bass.
On my bass. Absolute showman and fantastic player. So we're really lucky to have him, actually, yeah.
You are. That's what's dissolved in New Zealand showbiz, was the showmanship of all those bands, When I can go back to when I first came to this country and I would go and see bands perform. There was Ray Columbus, the Invaders, and there was all the wonderful Maori show bands.
Yeah.
They all did a show. Yeah. And they get out there and the drummer did go, Jimmy Hill from the Invaders would do a drum solo. He'd be in the middle of it 5 minutes on the drum kit. Then he'd be up on the walls, go round the nightclub, and everyone was fascinated. And he kept it going all the way. And he went right round the room, on the floor, back up to his drums and back in, boom, 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 and he was off again.
Yeah, and you can't replicate that sort of energy with any sort of machine.
No,
there's no way.
Machines will never do that. They're not going to walk around the room and play the drum solo.
No.
Naturally. Real drummers have got to come back, and real bands have got to come back. And you're part of that, and the Recliner Rockers are part of that. Real bands, important stuff, live music. And that's what it's all about. Our show, Rockin the Planet, live music. And now we're going to have a little jam with the guys in just a few secs when they come back. But first of all, a little song at the CT Club live.
Songbirds won't sing my song, not since you've been gone. Songbirds are silent in their tune till you come home to me. Bright sun come on my skin, setting in. Cold just won't get me back to you. What am I gonna do? But
It's that part of the evening I love best, and that is the jam. When the guys get together here, and we just discuss a few instruments from your Music Planet. We've got the Laravie. Alan has the Laravie in his arms, the beautiful Laravie guitar from Music Planet. Now, you know more about them than I do. I think they're your favourite guitar, aren't they, Alan?
Yeah, they're my favourite acoustic. They're Canadian made.
Yeah, Canadian.
And Jean Laravie, who owns the company, is a connoisseur of wood.
Yeah.
And such beautiful wood in these.
It is. I can see it just from here, sitting here. The woods are beautiful, all intricate stuff, and they're all different woods too.
Yeah.
Are they Canadian woods or?
I think they're sourced in Canada. Yeah,
sourced
spruce
in Canada,
top.
yeah.
Mahogany.
Beautiful, yeah, mahogany and things. Anyway, Laravie guitar, beautiful. Just give us a strum there, bang them every time. Look at that. Listen to that. Listen to the resonance on that. Yeah. You guys want to just play away, see what happens?
That's alright, mama, any way you do. Well, that's alright. Well, that's alright. Well, that's alright now, mama, any way you do. Well, mama, she done told me, mama, she told me too. But that girl you're messing with, she ain't no good for you. Well, that's alright. Well, that's alright. Well, that's alright now, mama. That's alright. Well, that's alright now, mama. Any way you do. Yeah. Oh, do 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 do. That's alright. Well, that's alright now, mama. Any way you do.
Fantastic. I could go here all night. I think we're going to continue anyway. We're going to have some fun here. But I want to thank Jeff.
Thank you.
Alan, once again, and Bruce for coming in. And who else?
Julian.
Julian, he couldn't make it tonight, but he's here with us in spirit, I'm sure. We're going to get on. We're going to rock on out. We're going to have a party tonight. So we'll see you next week. Let's party! Woo! Yeah! Play the solo now, so I've got it.